What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm coming at y'all with another comic book recommendations video, coming at y'all with comics everyone should read part 2. That's right, I got a big old stack here once again of a bunch of trade paperbacks, hardcovers, comics that you guys got to check out. I got 3 Marvel books, 3 indie books, and 3 DC books. So just like in my previous video I did this, I'm going to start with the indie books because I know a lot of you guys are here for the Marvel and DC stuff. So we'll get the indie stuff out of the way and then we'll jump into Marvel and DC. But starting off with the independent stuff, we got first book of the day, Firepower, baby. Firepower, written by Robert Kirkman, art by Chris Samney. I mean, that creative team enough. If those that don't know, Robert Kirkman, Invincible, Walking Dead, Void Rivals, Firepower. This is an amazing, amazing, amazing book. It really has a very similar feel to Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if you're a big fan of that show, I highly, highly recommend this. It's definitely a different concept overall and stuff, but it's just got a similar vibe to it, if that makes any sense. But classic, amazing storytelling by Robert Kirkman. Firepower, I believe it's a grand total. The entire run is like 30-ish issues, I believe, something like that. So it's not the craziest thing out there lengthwise, but it is so unbelievably worth it. Definitely check out Firepower by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. Next up, we're gonna go with another. Obviously, we're sticking with the independent train. We're sticking on Image right here as well. Actually, all these 3 indie books are Image today, but this one right here, I've talked about a couple of times on my TikTok and Instagram, and probably mentioned it here on the channel a couple times. I know I talked about it in yesterday's vlog. Junkyard Joe, baby. Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson. Junkyard Joe is a part of the Ghost Machine universe, a part of the unnamed universe in the Ghost Machine universe, and it's gotta be, if it's either this or Rook Exodus, and Rook Exodus was my book of the year for 2024. So it's either Junkyard Joe or Rook Exodus as my favorite Ghost Machine title. If that doesn't show you how good this is, because I praise Rook Exodus. Also, it is unbelievably windy outside that it's literally whistling around and stuff. I was trying to wait for it to stop to film this video, but I was checking the weather and don't think it's gonna stop. So if you guys can hear the wind, I apologize. If not, I'm sounding stupid. Regardless, back to Junkyard Joe. It's a story about a robot who was created to help US soldiers during the Vietnam War. And long story short, he develops a soul. And it's unbelievably heartfelt story. It's amazing. There's some great character moments. And just Junkyard Joe is awesome. I cannot wait. He just made his return in the most recent issue of Geiger that came out yesterday as I'm filming this. But such an amazing book, so heartfelt, so epic. Junkyard Joe, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, Brad Anderson, boom, check it out. Next up, last indie book, then we're diving into the Marvel and DC stuff, guys, I promise. But in a lot of my videos, and in my last comic book recommendation video, I talked about 2 Daniel Warren Johnson books, because Daniel Warren Johnson is my favorite comic book creator of all time. Writer, artist, doesn't matter. He's my favorite creator of all time because he does it all. And next up, we're going to be recommending Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer's Murder Falcon. Just like all of Daniel Warren Johnson's books, it's just an unbelievably grand, epic setting, just with these super deep, heartfelt moments and a story that is just full of heart. Daniel Warren Johnson is absolutely fantastic. Murder Falcon, it's basically, I mean, it's crazy. It's basically this group that uses the power of metal, like, yes, heavy metal, to fight like monsters, kaijus, all this kind of stuff. There's obviously a lot more to the story and everything like that, but that's the overall premise. But it is an amazing story about grief, about acceptance, about it's so good. It follows this band, literally, as they're getting back together, trying to save the world. One of them has something going on. I don't want to spoil anything. Murder Falcon, Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer. If you want to cry your eyes out, read some Daniel Warren Johnson. This book is amazing. Now, it's time for the Marvel stuff, y'all. Marvel and the DC time. I told y'all we're going to get through the indies, and now we're here for what most of you guys are probably here for. But please go check out those 3 independent books, because I'm telling y'all, gas. But now, we're going to move on to the Marvel stuff. And the first Marvel book I'm going to recommend you guys today is Hulk Great. I'm such a big Hulk fan. This is written by Jeff Loeb, art by Tim Sale. That alone, that should be all I need to tell you. If you haven't read this already, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale are one of the best creative duos in all of comics of all time. They might just be the creative duo when it comes to comic books and graphic novels and all that kind of stuff. This is just such an awesome story about Hulk. If any of you guys have ever read any of the Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's color series, Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray, this kind of stuff, you know what you're getting into. It's just, it's an amazing story. I love Hulk, and this is a great book featuring Hulk. So definitely check this out. It's a short read. It's self-contained. Hulk Gray, Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. Mwah. Yes, check it out. Next up, we're going to go with an absolute classic, Ultimate Spider-Man. The original Ultimate Spider-Man. I believe this is the longest running same creative team on a Marvel run ever. I'm pretty sure, which is Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley. One of the greatest Spider-Man runs of all time, if not the greatest Spider-Man run of all time. Anyone who puts it up at their number one will not blame you whatsoever. That is a fantastic take. Ultimate Spider-Man is so freaking good. Mark Bagley's art is just mwah. Bendis' writing is just mwah. Obviously, it's Ultimate Universe, not the same Ultimate Universe as currently, but since it was Ultimate back in the day, it's not like 616, Marvel 616, so there are some differences that some people liked, some people didn't, but overall, from start to finish, the story is absolutely fantastic. If you're trying to get into Spider-Man, look no further. This is an amazing jumping on point. It's an amazing book for people who have been reading Spider-Man for decades, people who have never read Spider-Man, people who don't know who Spider-Man is. It doesn't matter. Ultimate Spider-Man, Bendis and Bagley, one of the most legendary Marvel runs of all time. And staying on the legendary track, this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful and impactful Marvel comics in all of history. We got X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills. Chris Claremont. I mean, this is... It's like I said, it's one of the most important comic books to come out, in my opinion. If you've never read anything X-Men, I highly recommend trying to read this as soon as you possibly can before you dive into X-Men, because in my opinion, it just absolutely nails what the X-Men are, why they are what they like, why they do what they do, and everything like that. Their dynamics with the world and with humanity. And like I said, it's just so unbelievably powerful and impactful. Chris Claremont, some of his best work of all time. X-Men, God Loves, Man Kills. Short read, self-contained. Definitely check this out. It is a very important piece of literature in comic book history, in my opinion. But now, we're getting towards the end here. We got DC books remaining, only 3 left. 3 DC books. And the first DC book I'm going to recommend to you guys today is going to be... A lot of people have thrown it around. A lot of people have talked about it, but I haven't recommended it to you guys here on the channel yet. And I don't even think I've recommended it on my TikTok or anything like that. Boom. Nightwing. Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo, the entire run. Obviously, I'm holding up Leaping Into the Light right here. But the entire run was just absolutely fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like it. That's okay. I loved it. Everyone is obviously different and everything like that. But it just, in my opinion, it did so much for the character of Dick Grayson, of Nightwing. It really let him step into his own role and really just do his own thing in Bloodhaven. Obviously, that he's been doing that and stuff. But I really felt like Tom Taylor took a few extra steps with Dick Grayson and Barbara and just Bloodhaven in general. It was just a fantastic run. It's full of heart, great character moments. It's not the highest stakes of all time. And I think that's why some people don't love it, but it doesn't matter. I highly recommend, if you guys haven't checked out Tom Taylor's Nightwing run, I know you've probably heard really good things and then really bad things because people are so 50-50 on it. I highly recommend you try it for yourself because I know, me personally, I absolutely adore it. And I know it's a comic book that got a lot of new readers into comics and into Nightwing in particular. Tom Taylor, I really think you killed this book. Don't listen to what the haters say. This one is absolutely fantastic. Next up, we're going classic and legendary again. This is one of the most legendary books in DC history. We got Mark Waid and Alex Ross's Kingdom Come. I mean, you've probably heard of this. If you haven't read it, that'd be pretty surprising. But some of you guys are super new to comics, and so Kingdom Come is definitely a book that I recommend you guys check out. Mark Waid, Alex Ross, like I said, it's a futuristic, dystopian-esque future, for the DC universe and everything like that. It's such an iconic story. Alex Ross on the interiors. I'm normally not the biggest Alex Ross interior fan. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Alex Ross. He is one of the greatest of all time. I have zero bad things to say about his art. He's absolutely fantastic. That being said, it sometimes can be a little like overstimulating for me on interiors. And it's just a little bit like too detailed for interiors strictly. That being said, I do not feel that way about this book. Maybe on my initial read, but the more I've read this, the more I've gone through it and everything like that, this is just a amazing book. It's illustrated absolutely beautifully, obviously, like I've just been explaining. But it's such a legendary story, and it's influenced a lot of stories going forward, whether it's from DC or Marvel or even independent stories. It's just such a classic, such a iconic story. Kingdom Come, Mark Waid, Alex Ross. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. And now we've made it to the final book I'm going to recommend for today. We'll be back for more of these, don't y'all worry. But today's final book, final recommendation, Superman is coming out soon. You guys know everyone is excited for Superman. I'm so glad Superman is trending again and people are loving him. And so check this one out, y'all. Superman Birthright, another Mark Waid book. This one's going to be Mark Waid, Leinil Francis Yu, and Gary Allen Guilan. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but this is just it's a fantastic modern retelling of this origin of Superman and Lex Luthor. Honestly, it's a story. It's just like sorry, hold on. I cannot speak. I don't know what just happened. I was just buffering or something. It's an amazing modern retelling of Superman's origin story. There's a lot of cool dynamics with Lex, his hometown, friends and everything like that, his family. It's just, in my opinion, it's a fantastic origin story. Obviously, everyone knows the origin of Superman. Krypton explodes, he's the last survivor, they sent him out and everything like that. It's not that, it's more his origin on Earth and everything like that. The origin of Superman, not the origin of Kal-El. So, and yeah, it's a little bit of a retelling, so some things are different, retcon things here and there and everything like that. But I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think Leinil Francis Yu does an amazing job illustrating it, and obviously Mark Waid. I mean, how many Mark Waid books do I recommend a week? Like, Mark Waid is fantastic, so Superman, Birthright, Mark Waid, Leinil Francis Yu, boom, 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 mwah, fire. Check it out. But hey, there we go, y'all. We got 9 books for you guys to check out if you haven't read any of these. I'll go ahead and hold these spines up for you guys like this. You guys screenshot that or whatever. Take it through the Barnes & Noble and go buy some books. But hey, that's going to do it for this week's, or not this, that's doing it for the video. I hope you guys haven't read some of these, and I hope you guys can go check them out, and I hope you like them. If you have read some of them, let me know you guys' thoughts, and drop some more recommendations down below for me and for anyone else watching this video. Drop your recommendations, your favorite comic books down below, and everyone, get to reading. Thanks for watching. Peace out.